What if I told you that the difference between a free man and a slave is not found in the chains he carries, but in the soul that lives within him? This is an ancient story from Babylon, a story about poor choices, about debt, about downfall, and about redemption. It is a story written centuries ago, yet still alive today, because it speaks of something that never grows old, the inner struggle of every human being. Perhaps, deep down, this is also your story. In ancient Babylon, under a merciless sun that burned the stone streets, lived a young man named Tarkad. He was hungry, exhausted, and carried an invisible burden on his shoulders, debt. With not a single coin in his pocket, Tarkad encountered Dabasi, a well-known, respected, and prosperous merchant. Dabasi looked at him carefully and asked, "Tell me, young man, why do you not pay your debts?" Ashamed, Tarkad spoke of bad luck. He spoke of the gods. He spoke of fate. But Dabasi replied firmly, "Misfortune follows those who borrow more than they can repay." Still, Dabasi did not turn him away. Instead, he did something unexpected. He invited Tarkad to lunch. While Dabasi ordered a generous meal, meat, bread, vegetables, and fresh water, Tarkad remained silent. An empty stomach, a troubled mind, a heavy heart. Dabasi ate. Tarkad watched. Then Dabasi spoke. "I once heard of a man who saw the world through a colored stone. When he removed it, everything looked different." He looked directly at Tarkad and asked, "Do you believe the world can change when we change the way we see it?" After a long pause, Tarkad replied softly, "Yes, I believe so." Dabasi nodded. "Then listen," he said. "I will tell you a story. The story of my own life. When Dabasi was young, he was only an artisan, hard-working, honest, but impatient. He earned little, yet desired much. Fine clothes, comfort, a life he could not yet afford. He spent before saving, he bought before learning, and ignored the quiet warnings of wisdom. At first, everything seemed manageable. But the debts grew. The creditors appeared, and shame entered his home. His wife, broken-hearted, returned to her father's house, and Dabasi, overwhelmed by guilt, fled Babylon. But no one ever escapes the consequences of their choices. Years passed, and Dabasi fell even further. He joined raiders in the desert, lived without honor, until fate demanded payment. He was captured, bound, and sold as a slave for 2 silver coins. In the deserts of Syria, Dabasi discovered true despair. No freedom, no dignity, no future. One day he was brought before the wives of his master. His fate seemed sealed. They asked him what he could do, and Dabasi answered, "I know how to care for camels. I know how to guide them across long journeys. I know how to cross the desert." That answer saved his life. During one journey, one of the women asked him a simple yet devastating question. "Dabasi, do you have the soul of a free man or the soul of a slave?" Days later, alone in the desert, without water, without food, without strength, Dabasi fell from his camel. Lying on the burning sand, he thought, "If I have the soul of a slave, I will die here. But if I have the soul of a free man, I will fight." At that moment, the world seemed to change color, as if a stone had been removed from his eyes. He chose to live. With determination, Dabasi found strength. He found water, he survived, and he returned to Babylon. He faced his creditors, paid every debt, restored his honor, and learned a simple, powerful truth. Where determination exists, a path can always be found. He became a camel merchant, prosperous, respected, free. The story ended. Silence filled the room. Something shifted inside Tarkad. With tears in his eyes, he stood and said, "Today, I feel the soul of a free man awakening within me." Dabasi smiled. "Then begin," he said. "Pay your debts, control your spending, honor your word." And he ordered food for Tarkad, because a hungry man needs food, but a lost man needs direction. This story has survived centuries because it is not truly about money. It is about choices, character, responsibility. We all face deserts in life, but not everyone chooses to cross them. So now I ask you, do you have the soul of a slave or the soul of a free man? Because where determination exists, a path can always be found.